KLIF News and Information Time 640. Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton claims to have a plan that will make college affordable and available to every American family. It sounds great, but do the numbers add up? Joining us live now to discuss this is Burk, the author of College Prep Genius. Good morning, Jean.
Hey, good morning, Amy. How are you?
Good. So I guess the basic premise of the plan is to provide a public education for every kid in America?
Yeah, that's kind of what it seems like. $350 billion, I don't think it's a good idea. You know, I think ultimately what's going to happen is the taxpayers are going to end up carrying the load because even though they sound like no-interest loans, somebody, that's assuming, they're going to get paid back. I also think this is really more bad policy and actually smart politics. I think she's trying to appeal to the younger crowd. So, but I do like the idea that the conversation started. I mean, we're talking 600% increase of college tuition skyrocketing in the last 25 years. And probably we're going to see some other candidates as well, putting their input in. So I'm glad that it's getting started and people are starting to realize that there's got to be something done. We've got 66% of college graduates entering college and then coming out with about $30,000 debt. So something definitely has to be done.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you make. It is good that the conversation is getting started. But like you, when I first heard about this, and I thought, come on, this is all political. And if you actually were able to put this program together, what you would have is a lot of people attending college who either have no business being there or have no real interest in being there, but their parents would sweep them into school. They would get nothing out of it and perhaps not finish and that sort of thing.
No, that's true. And we've got right now about 37% of college graduates who are working in jobs that don't even require a degree. So, yeah, just because you have a college education doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to apply it. In Alaska, they have a really cool program called the Alaska Performance Scholarship. And, if the students in high school get a certain GPA and a certain SAT score, they're given a scholarship, but they can also apply it toward a trade school or a vocational school. So maybe they want to be a hairdresser or a mechanic, they can use that. So, and nothing too about this program is I don't see it talking a lot about controlling the cost of college. Sometimes, when you spend more federal money, it ends up, obviously raising the cost. And so that's pretty much the number one reason why a lot of students drop into college is because of, they can't afford to pay for it. So I think there's a lot of problems with it. I think what we need to do is have more of a preemptive strike. This is where, there's so many things that the kids can do right now. And even if some program did come to fruition in a few years, we're talking, what about the sophomores, the juniors, the seniors right now? What can they do? And I wanted to give you a few ideas that I know about right here in Texas. We've got a really cool thing called the Texas Be On Time loan. And that is where many of the colleges, if your student graduates in the 4 years with a GPA of 3.0, they will actually just forgive the debt at the end of the time. We also have the Aggie Assurance Program where students can actually go to A&M for free. And then there's a similar program. It used to be called the Maverick Promise. They changed the name of it, but it's pretty much a program for grants to go to UT Arlington. But there's so many things that students can be doing right now, not waiting around for a program that may or may not work. I mean, they can do some dual credit, take some AP courses, get their FAFSA in time before the April-May deadline that a lot of people do. The thing with the FAFSA is most people think that it's for low income, but actually that's not true. That is actually free money from the government. The problem is most students wait till like April to get that deadline of the application, but you can actually fill it out as early as January 2 and start getting some free money from the government.
If you apply later, you run the risk of not getting the money because it's already gone?
Most people miss out on the free money because it's absolutely gone. They think that they have to wait till they get their taxes done, and that's why you're seeing it in such a, more toward the end of spring. But actually, you can go in and fill out your FAFSA on January 2nd and basically put in some sort of, educated guess. Most people kind of know what they made, and you can always go back and edit it later.
How can people find out more about this program?
Well, I've got an ebook called 15 Secrets to Free College. It talks about how you can basically go to Harvard for free. You can eat your way to free college. It's normally $9.95 on my website, but if you go to collegeprepgenius.com, my 15 Secrets to Free College, if you put the code radio in, then you can get it absolutely free. So it'll give you a lot of great information on just getting a lot of different avenues to free college.
All right, and we'll put a link to that on our Facebook page, the Dave and Amy Facebook page, so folks can get in on that because it's a great deal. Thanks, Gene. We appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you, Gene.
Gene Burk, author of College Prep Genius.